Hello, you're here with PTI SBC. I'm here with Zubin Acuna and Luke. I'm your host, Solid Kapoor. First topic is, would you rather have Michael Jordan's defense or offense? First, Zubin Acuna.
I'm going to be taking the side of defense. Michael Jordan instilled the fear in his opponents that no one else has, and his drive to not let the person in front of him score and his drive to almost kill his opponent is unmatched. And I think his defense is just what made him so feared. Yes, he's an incredible on the offensive end, but defensively he just made everyone around him fear him, and no one wanted to really go up against him. That was a matchup you didn't want. You didn't want MJ picking you up in the half court.
Luke.
Well, I believe that Michael Jordan's offense is a bit more valuable just because I agree that Michael Jordan's defense is valuable and it distilled fear in others. But if you go out on the court to guard Michael Jordan, you're going to be afraid to guard Michael Jordan. You know he's going to give you 30, maybe more. And I think Michael Jordan, clutch shot after clutch shot in big moments like the finals and conference finals, I think Michael Jordan proved that his offense is more valuable to his team and his game just because of how many clutch moments he had on the offensive end.
Zubin, what do you have to say to that?
You know, he is a great scorer. I can't discredit him with that. But without his defense, what would Michael Jordan be? The defense allowed to win a Defensive Player of the Year, and I think his defense heavily contributed to the fact that he was able to win so many MVPs and so many titles. Without that, you're not going to have him pick up the other team's best player and stop them on the defensive end. Like they say, defense wins championships, and without MJ's defense, I genuinely don't think they win 6 titles. Maybe like 3-ish or something. You can't defense. I feel like 3-ish defense is everything, and MJ put it all out on the floor when he went out there.
I agree. I think MJ definitely put his all out on defense, but who on that Bulls team could score 30 points per game besides Michael Jordan? I mean, you had Scottie Pippen to play the defense. You had Bill Cartwright to play the defense sometimes, and even they had defensive guards like Paxson. So I don't know if that's true on the titles. I think that Michael Jordan would have still won 6 titles just because of how amazing his offensive game was. There was nothing he couldn't do on the offensive end, and nothing he couldn't do on the defensive end either. But it's a hard debate because both are so amazing. But I think offense just carries out.
Thank you for your guys' discussions. Now we're going to move on to topic 2, which is who's the greatest Celtic of all time, Larry Bird or Bill Russell? Luke.
Well, I have to say Larry Bird, just because at the time that he was playing was one of the most physical times of the league, and there was amazing talent at that time in the league. There were more teams than there were when Bill Russell played, and lots more competition, like the Lakers with Magic Johnson, the Pistons with Bill Laimbeer, Isaiah Thomas, Dennis Rodman at the time, and Larry Bird, won championships, won all kinds of awards, just an amazing all-around player. And I think Bill Russell really excelled on the defensive end, but just didn't have that same offensive game as Larry Bird, and just didn't have the same value that Bird did to his team.
I just gotta say, Bill Russell, one of the greatest ever. He has more rings than fingers, which is just think about that. That's ridiculous. No one's really come close to that. No one's come close to that at all. Robert Horry has like 7.
Yes.
But I think Bill Russell gets discredited because of when he played. Like, you're right, the 80s was a very physical era, and Larry Bird was, along with Magic Johnson, they were the 2 goats of that era. But I think Bill Russell deserves more credit for how dominant his team was during that time. Yes, you said lack of competition, but I don't think it's as much of a lack of competition as you'd think. He would go up against Wilt Chamberlain and dominate them. Yes, the Lakers were the weaker team, but you are right. Offensively, Larry Bird is a much better player, but Bill Russell contributed a lot to his team, getting board after board, making defensive stops, and just really contributed to the fact that they got those, 11, 12 rings? I can't even count it. He
It's
won
11.
11, right? He won so many times.
What do you have to say about Larry Bird's defense? He said Larry Bird's offense is better than his defense. What do you have to say about Larry Bird's defense and what's better than Bill Russell's?
Well, I agree definitely that Larry Bird's offense is better than defense. Bill Russell's definitely better at defense than Larry Bird ever was, but Larry Bird just had that clutch gene in him that Bill Russell never had, really. I mean, Bill Russell, amazing rebounder, defender, but I mean, he never like filled up the stat sheet with points. He provided his value by playing defense, and at that time, I mean, I'm pretty sure there were less than 16 teams in the league when Bill Russell was playing, which makes your odds better of winning that many championships when there's more teams in the league, less teams in the league, rather. But
Especially when you have the best team, correct?
especially when you have the best team and players like Bob Cousy, Havlicek, Casey Jones, those guys.
I think I gotta close it out to say that the Celtics and Bill Russell, he just gets it's difficult to compare different eras of basketball, especially because people always try and compare across generations, and I just feel like Bill Russell, I hope he begins to get more of the credit he deserves. He gets credit, but I feel like what he accomplished, I just can't even comprehend what he accomplished, because 11 rings and to be that dominant. Yes, there was less teams. Yes, you could argue there's less competition and he had a great team. But I just think he gets discredited for everything he did. But Larry Bird's also an incredible player, and they're both are easily the greatest Celtics of all time by quite a bit.
Thank you. That concludes our episode for SBC PTI. Signing off, Solid Core.